Hey friends, and welcome to Heavenly Minded Home. It is the start of yet another week, another opportunity to just romanticize life and see the lovely in everything. And something we've really been enjoying these past few weeks is kicking off our week with a tea party. So the girls are getting everything prepped and ready up here. I'm gonna go out around the property and collect some greenery to give us a little dash of beautiful with an arrangement on the table. So let's go forage some pretty stuff and get ready for an awesome week up ahead. Friends, I hope you all are having a wonderful start to your week. So I shared with you guys last week that we are super excited to kind of step out in faith and start growing some flowers on our property. So we have been working really hard trying to get this flower farm idea. We've been up there doing so much stuff over the weekend. Well, really Friday it started, but anyways, trying to get stuff done to kick start Lilac and Vine Orchard. So we set up a whole new channel that we can share specifically dedicated content over there. I'll link the first video right up here. And of course, everything is linked down in the description. So we'll still be sharing tidbits here as we do different things, but hello, Zoe. But if you are wanting specific flower farm, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, all of those bits and pieces, you guys can subscribe over there and follow along with us. Spread the word and encouragement as we try to start putting something together. So I was thinking about it. I have worked in the floral industry for nearly 20 years. And 10 of that was our own company doing wedding florals. And it's something that, as that kind of dried up, we really felt the Lord calling us into ministry and all of that, which was amazing. And we responded and said, all right, we'll go do that. I think we really needed the break. We were doing like 100 weddings a year at the top. Like, it was so much. Every weekend, single-handedly, I would slam out, 7 weddings worth of florals and then go coordinate them and the whole thing. It was a lot. We needed a break. Our priorities were not in the right order, to all of it. But I've been saying for especially about the past 6 months to a year, I've told my husband, man, I do miss, I miss arranging. I miss design. I miss working with flowers. Not to the degree that we were doing with weddings. I don't want to be slamming out, hundreds upon hundreds of arrangements every single week. But I miss the art of it, the fun of it, right? The joy of it. And so in just this conversation of what makes a lovely life and lovely living and little things, nothing feels more elegant than having fresh flowers around the house, right? A bouquet on the table, a little bud vase in the bathroom, or something on your end table, your nightstand. There's something so special about having some fresh flowers in the house. It will always be my favorite. I used to do that even after doing weddings. Every Monday and Tuesday, it was florist leftover haven, right? Where I would go pick out my favorites and put stuff around the house. And so with our little tea parties and with trying to just go that extra mile to bring a little bit of lovely into our life and into our home, going around and collecting some flowers and putting them in random vases or containers on the table has been something that we're all really enjoying. And especially for tea party day, we have to have some fresh something on the table. Now, we're trying to start up a flower farm. That means we don't actually have a flower farm quite yet. So I'm very limited in my blooms. I've gotten a lot of stuff in the ground. So the summer should be amazing. And I'm super excited to get to make some really cool arrangements because we've got some really cool stuff in there. But right now, all I really have in bloom are my dwarf iris. I have some of my little yellow spray roses up there. And we have a lot of blackberry vines in bloom right now. That's kind of it. We're kind of limited on what we have. We do have some little yellow buttercups around the yard. That's kind of it. We really don't have very much right now. So I thought today it would be really fun to come out and forage with you all and just find some greenery, because as you can see behind me, there is no shortage of greenery. And I think that greenery can just be so whimsical and beautiful and lush, and it just feels so like opulent. I don't know. I think that I love greenery almost as much as I do more of your like focal flower blooms. So today for our it's kind of like a tea, keep calling it a tea party, but they want to make lemonade. But we are going to do an all greenery arrangement. So come with me, let's pick some good stuff and get up there and see if I can't turn it into something that will at least sit in a container on the table. That was the whole point of this. So when I'm looking for blooms, I really like to look at the way things lay. Like this down here feels very dainty. That's beautiful. That is a great add-in. And there's tons of it over here. There's also poison ivy. So I do at least have on boots with my dress. These are some beautiful blackberry vines, which means they are covered in awful, awful, awful thorns. But look how dainty and gorgeous those little blooms are. And they smell delicious. I love them. So I think I'll still want a little bit of that. I look at like how this finds out. When you're grabbing your greenery, you want to try to make sure that you're getting different shapes and sizes, and little bits like this add such a lovely texture. So I want to kind of collect a little bit of this. See, I've got more of a structured wooded branch here. I've got the great little berries. I have this down here that's just so dainty and soft, this little vining, whatever on earth it is. And then a little smidge of bloom on the vine of the blackberry. So I kind of want a mixture of all of this. GGB. I'm making some piles, getting some stuff. So, but honey, get out of the fire pit. Don't play in the fire pit, sweetie. Bumby. Thank you, ma'am.
You're about to give me a heart attack.
Oh, goodness.
I only saw Olivia going down. I see you. I'm like,
what? She's down in the fire pit.
You can't.
Yeah, I'm making piles of flowers and she's doing that. All right, let's get some more. See, aren't these pretty? These are kind of a different bit of greenery.
Yeah, that would be actually like really nice.
I want stuff thick enough that we can kind of build up our base.
Ooh.
And then I got some of this. Look at this, has kind of got like this dusty, almost kind of like gray texture to it.
That's pretty. That would be
So
nice.
get some of that. And I just love these, and they smell so good. Mmm, they're so pretty.
Oh yes, they smell so good.
Ooh, look at lots of seeds on this one.
Let's see. Ooh,
See this texture? This looks really, really cool when you have some different textures. So even though it's all pretty much going to be greenery with only a couple pops of things with bloom,
yeah,
having this texture with the seeds. And these bushes over here really need to be cleared, so
yeah.
I'm clearing
So
it little
nice.
bit by little bit.
Little bit by little bit.
Little bit.
Yeah.
It's so pretty though.
Yes.
Ooh, look at these are kind of
Okay.
fun. How these trail out. You
Ooh.
get a little bit of that.
You can even hear the bees getting some pollen. These love flowers. That's where they get the pollen.
So we could go around the whole yard, but I think this is probably enough, don't you? I've got 3 big piles,
Yeah.
and we need to make one arrangement. For our
Yeah,
one picnic
that's
table.
it's a pretty. Well, you have a big one, but then again, that big one is holding like more flowers.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do it in this dish. Olivia, honey, out of the fire pit. That's not a play space, love. Bumby. What's even funnier is she's like in her little like tutu dress, sitting in playing with the charcoal. All right, let's collect this stuff and get
Okay.
inside.
I think me and Lily might play out for play outside for a little bit. It is just so beautiful.
It is. You're getting a little bit of
Oh wow, that is big.
pretty. Come look, I got one more pile over here.
It's just so pretty.
Seriously, go around. Greenery can be just as beautiful.
Hmm. I love how what do they call the flowers that smell really good when we would do the tea parties.
Oh, we had the hyacinth. I
Hyacinth.
love hyacinth.
It smells so good.
But it won't be until next spring before we have those again.
Yeah.
So now that I have a large armful of greenery, I'd always rather get too much than not enough, so I usually overdo it. That's how I did all my weddings too. But there you go, some pine cones.
No, pine cones. Yeah.
If you're going to be cutting stuff outside and bring it into the house, and you don't want to be surprised with little bugs running all over your table, what you can do is get a bucket, or we use an old like little kid swimming pool, fill it with water, submerge all of your stems, and soak them in water in that pool. Preferably somewhere in the shade, you know, not just sitting out in the blaring sun where they're getting baked to death. Come on, Bumby. But you can soak whatever it is that you get in some water. Just make sure everything's completely underwater. Naturally, organically, no chemicals, no problem. Your flowers are going to get really hydrated, and all of the little bugs and pests and things that might be in there are going to come up. They're going to drown, or they are going to flee as quick as they possibly can. I'm not worried about it today because we're just throwing our stuff outside anyways, but if you're bringing stuff inside and you don't want bugs, that is the best way to get rid of foraged bugs. Whenever I'm getting ready to put together anything, be it a huge, beautiful wedding at the Biltmore house back in the day, or just a simple little bouquet of some cut greens around the yard for our tea party table setup, after I go and I forage, I gather, or even if I'm purchasing stuff, cuttings from the garden, whatever it is, I like to come up here and re-separate them. So that way you can easily see what you have to work with. I know it's a little simple thing, but I think that can be overwhelming whenever you are picking stuff from your garden or you're getting something from the store and you want to put together some sort of bouquet or arrangement. When everything's kind of just there in a clump, I think it's overwhelming. So I separate things into their like grouped categories of what they are. It makes it a little bit easier when you start putting it together. So let's separate this. I've got my stuff out here. I went ahead and even turned on a fan because it is a little warm. That'll keep the bugs away. I turned on my Hymns of the Homemaker. We have one of our Google speakers, oops, it probably heard me, that we put in our laundry room window over here so we can have music while we're outside. And then I got my vessel. So I bought this at Goodwill, I don't even know, a little while ago, for like $2. And I bought it specifically because I wanted to make a floral arrangement in it. I wanted to put flowers and greenery and everything into it. I thought it would be so pretty. Of course, it's a great serving dish, but I wanted to do this. Now, especially if you're going to be designing in something that has a really big opening, you're going to need to grid that vase, okay? You can do it with smaller vases as well, but especially if you got something big, you're gonna need to grid it. And so what that means is basically you make a grid on the opening, and that helps give you some support as you start building your flowers in. You always want to place your flowers kind of coming in from the side. You want to weave their stems as they're going in, and you're kind of moving them from different angles. That helps give some structure to your arrangement. I think that's one of the quickest things when people try to arrange flowers and they're like, I can never get it to look okay. It just kind of falls wherever it wants to fall. Well, it's because you got to weave and cross your stems so it stays in place. Hey love, when you have a big vase like this, you want to put some sort of grid on it. Now normally that's done with floral tape. It's a really thin, you can get clear dark green tape where you kind of lay out your grids and then do a rim around it. You can also use Scotch tape where you literally just lay out tape across the way and then go the other way to make like a checkerboard pattern, you know, make little squares that can help give you some structure. I am out of both tapes and all I have is some floral wire. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this with floral wire just to give me at least a little bit of structure. Not sure how well it's gonna hold up because that's not what floral wire is made for, but my hope was maybe it will hold up decently and then I can leave it on here and it will last longer. So I'm gonna try to grid this up, enjoy some music, the kids are playing. I never let our kids eat Lunchables because seriously, they're garbage. But we were at the store yesterday getting our stuff for today and they're like, ooh, as a tea party snack, can we get Lunchables? And I'm like, sure, get a Lunchable. And so they're out there like picnicking together with one another, having Lunchables and like enjoying the woods while I get ready for our tea party. So it all works out. Let's grid up this vase and get our greenery in some water because right now it's just laying on the table and it's gonna wanna drink. Just saying that was awful and didn't want to work at all. So if you're out of any tape and all you have is floral wire, you might as well just go try to find some chicken wire. You can put a ball of chicken wire in there. Obviously wet foam oasis would be an ideal, a flower frog even, but I was trying to work with what I had on hand. The wire with the shape of my vase isn't working so hot. So that's okay. We're gonna salvage it because it's all about the tea party. Let's get some greenery into this vase. So I want my vase to be viewed from both sides, and I need to create kind of a bed for everything to live on. So I picked a ton of this, which is really not liking being out of water. It's getting wilty already. We're gonna start creating this bed where I'm going to take stems and layer them down. Problem is everything wants to come up and not stay down. Any stems that are any part of the stem that's gonna be in the water, you wanna make sure you clear all of your greenery off of, because otherwise you're just gonna create a bacteria zone very, very quickly. So let's see if we can't get these to kind of wanna lay down a little bit. See how wilty these are getting? It's the only thing about foraging is you don't always know. Not every plant is okay with being a cut flower. It just doesn't work that way. So when we would do weddings with this, you'd always kind of have to test one and see if it liked being a cut arrangement. This is another reason why if you get it straight into a tub of water to soak in, you can help it hydrate. So we're starting to get some actual foliage in here to kind of create this woven bed. See how I'm crisscrossing all of my stems? They're going in over one another from an angle, and that's going to help to create some support. want to work in layers, right? So I did some kind of basic greens to build the bottom. The dogs are so cute. And then I did, you know, some of this kind of dustier color, just so I'm kind of layering this in here and kind of building upon it. I even have some that were standing up taller to kind of give me some shape, right? You kind of work with your branchier things to either have it something that kind of goes out to the side or comes up and isn't around. And now I'm gonna work in these blackberry blooms. I'm gonna save these for the end. Now that I've kind of created this base in this space, I can start working these guys in here, kind of weaving them through all of these stems that have created this kind of support. I can start popping these guys in now, and they're not going to get completely lost in all the foliage. So if you're doing all greenery and you have something like the stuff I had with all these cute little seedlets on them, I put those in right before the blackberry blooms because I wanted you to be able to see all those pretty little details of the seeds. I have some of this viney stuff I've left over here. We're not going to put that in quite yet. We're going to leave that out to really become something that can hang out and be seen. This is a very low profile arrangement, but when it comes time to eat, I can set it up on something to kind of elevate it a little bit, and then that way, you know, you don't have the greenery sticking in your food as you try to eat. But now I can pop these pretty little soft, delicate blooms in. They're gonna be happy to be getting some water, and I'm gonna be able to see them well now that they're in this like forest that we've made in the arrangement. Is it wild and ridiculous and, let's be honest, complete overkill for a tea party with the kids, hopefully before it starts raining? Yes, absolutely it is, but I think this is so fun. See, these are those ones we put at the bottom. I could even trim a little off if any of these are touching the food. Really, the wilted part isn't that big of a deal. Most of it's been covered. You can't even see it except for this part here I keep pointing out, but the branches have created that structure we need to build upon it. I love the whimsy. I love how just ridiculous and over the top arrangements like this look. You've got the soft little blooms poking in. You've got all of this little seedling detail here. You've got the kind of dustier looking leaves kind of mixed in with the fresh, bright green. And it looks good from all angles. So guys, a Goodwill broken container and going around and clipping some stuff out of the yard or going, you know, walkway, different areas. It's not hard to gather some stuff. Doesn't cost a penny. Put it together and make something special. So now I can dress the table, pull out our little goodies, enjoy some peaceful hymns of the Homemaker music, and start our week off lovely with a tea party outside with the family. So here's my ridiculously huge foraged arrangement for this week. Let's go ahead, pull out the stuff, get the table looking pretty, and have a tea party. table is set, kids are ready to sit down and eat. We're having all of the non-carnivore approved treats for everybody to enjoy today, but it is way too beautiful to not come out and have a wonderful start to our week. So we've got some berries, we've got some cookies, we've got some croissants, we're even trying macaroons. She's made herself a sandwich, and some fresh squeezed lemonade that is delicious. It is so good. So table is set, it looks pretty. We have all of our beautiful greens here with those soft little blooms of the blackberry vine, and we are ready for a lovely tea party to kickstart a week that, you know what, regardless of what we face and what pops up and all of the stuff that we could sit here and be frustrated, annoyed, and just down about, we are going to enjoy, and it is going to be beautiful regardless, because we can choose to see it that way. And that's what our goal is here in this week and every week with all the blessings the Lord gives us. So we're gonna sit down and enjoy our meal together. Hopefully this can be an encouragement to you to maybe get out there, find some lovely blooms or greenery, and make something for your space, a little treat for your family. If you guys want a little something else to watch, go over and check out this video on our new channel, Lilac and Vine Orchards with our family farm. Be sure that you guys subscribe and do all of the fun things so that you see our videos each and every day. Bye, friends.